So over the past week, you've probably been wondering where I was, or not, that's fine, but please be caring because it helps boost my very fragile ego. But on that note, this week we made congee. If you don't know what that is, it is a dish that originated in poor China because, little known fact, rice is made in China, and the more water you add to rice, the more food's produced from the same amount of grains of rice, meaning it was a good way to scrounge for food and be conservative with your food store. So I actually made congee for the purpose of gifting it to my mother, who grew up in Hong Kong, because I wanted to make a gift that cost nearly nothing to me, so that meant cooking, and also it gave me the added benefit of poisoning. I meant feeding my family. Now, if you didn't know, congee is literally just rice grains with too much water, like way too much, like an ungodly proportion of water, and unless you have a water fetish, or a poison fetish, don't do it. Not that congee is actually poison, but one could argue that they'd rather drink arsenic than have congee. So obviously congee isn't sounding very good, so we need to improve on it. The first of which, we have to make a better form of broth. Starting that, we need to make our own makeshift chicken broth, which is really just cheap dollar store chicken broth, but not really, because we're going to make our own. So you're going to get as much water as you need. I would recommend 5 to 6 cups boiling, and then 1 tablespoon of, I think it's called chicken bouillon, in, stir it, and then let it go to a boil so it's all combined and delicious. Somewhere else, preferably not covered in an odd chicken paste that works and is actually, I think, quite expensive and actually quite good, but hopefully somewhere else you have a cutting board not covered in it, because we have to get our other things ready. Don't forget to thoroughly wash all your ingredients, and when you're ready, begin thinly slicing some shiitake mushrooms, and then peeling and mincing ginger and mincing up some garlic. After that, chop up your green onions and thinly slice some shallots and some more garlic. And by the way, these 2 parts of garlic have to be different consistencies. Off screen, I chopped up ham, or in your case, any type of meat that will go well with congee, but I did it off screen because no one likes watching disgusting liquidy cuts of meat being chopped up. Believe me. Next, we are preparing our rice by washing it in a rice cooker bowl. If you don't have a rice cooker, what are you doing with your life? And especially if you're Asian, you've committed the 8th sin. You can thoroughly wash your rice by soaking it in water, stirring it a little bit, and then draining the starchy water and repeating until you have about clear water. After that, you'll just simply dry the outside of the bowl and prep it. And the final step to preparing the chicken base of your congee is simply combining your rice and your chicken stock. And by the way, don't fill it to your rice cooker's fill line if your rice cooker is like mine and is a fucking liar. It lied to me like a little... yes, I've used the magical power of deception and movie magic to eliminate my rant from the edit of this video. You're welcome. And now we shall continue. And another thing I learned while making congee is that the internet is a liar and likes deceiving you, because apparently congee was supposed to only take 30 to 45 minutes to create, but it actually took 2 hours. So after I finished prepping everything and then cooking everything, I still had to wait an extra 30 minutes. If you have to do something like that, just keep everything in a warm place. Don't turn it on, especially if you put it in a microwave like me, because I put things in metal bowls and such, and unless you like exploding microwaves, that's kind of weird. Like, you got an exploding microwave fetish? I don't think we can be friends, no offense. But I guess I shouldn't fetish shame. To each their own, right? Wait, look at that. The eggs are done. Make sure they're runny, by the way, because the yolks will add much more flavor to your congee. So before I continue with the rest of the things that I put on my personal congee, I wouldn't recommend this, because my congee ended up being just a mix of terrible flavors in the end, because I put way too many things. Just pick a select few. I definitely recommend the egg, though, because next we are making ham. Ham was probably the best meat that was going to go with it, and I spared you me gutting the ham, taking off all the extra sinew and fat, which you must do unless you like disgusting pieces of ham, and then just brown it. Next, like any capable chef, you should have been using oil, but this time you're going to add much more oil, about 1 inch at the bottom of your cast iron, because you're going to effectively fry your shallots and thinly sliced garlic. Next, we are going to make something that I actually personally quite enjoy, but was fucking disgusting. Made me want to hurl in my congee. Please don't put it in. It's the mushrooms. Simply saute them and you're going to be all good. Also, I forgot to mention it earlier, but if you did in fact mince your garlic and mince your ginger, you can go and add it into your bowl of rice before it starts cooking to add even more flavor. By now, you'd probably assume you're done. You have all your cooked ingredients done. You have all your nice little garnish done. And you have your congee done. But you'd be wrong, because congee sucks, it makes you want to die, and the internet likes lying to you. So instead you have another 15 minutes of mind-numbingly boring time to pass with YouTube or otherwise hating yourself. Once that's actually done though, you can top everything together. Simply put your congee down, and you'll notice mine is incredibly thick, because the internet, again, is a fucking liar and hates my guts, apparently. And then add all your toppings, which I'm not going to list off again, because I'm lazy. if that wasn't clear. Of course, finally, garnish with your sliced ginger and chopped green onions, and then peanuts off screen because you forgot and you were too lazy to turn back on your camera. And if you're feeling like a real cool kid today, put on some sriracha, or don't. I will crucify you, but you don't have to. It's a free country, until I become its overlord. But until then, now if you enjoyed, go ahead and like it. It would boost my ego. If you didn't, fuck yourself.